Republican Roy Blunt of Missouri. Senator, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Very nice to be with you.
All right, how are you going to vote?
Well, I'm going to vote for it. It's not a perfect deal. It's not something I would have done if I was doing this by myself, but I'm not doing this by myself. You know, there's an old saying in Washington, it's not the best possible deal, but it's the best deal that's possible. And I think what we've really done here is we've seen a change in the paradigm of how we do business, because in all of the history of national debt and national debt limit increases, never before have we had a debate that resulted in spending less money than we otherwise were going to spend.
I keep hearing, though, senators say that they're not going to vote for this. One, Robert Mendez, a Democrat, but also just moments ago, Tom Coburn, right on Neil Cavuto's show, saying, no way. Here's what he had to say.
Well,
I'm a no. There's no question of a no. It's like having a patient with pneumonia and you're going to treat them with Tylenol and a cough suppressant rather than giving them an antibiotic to cure the pneumonia.
You know, the CBO scored this bill. They looked at it. We're still going to be in a situation of having more and more debt each year, even with this bill. How is this bill the right solution?
Well, I think every election is going to determine whether or not which direction we go. The only thing you can count on here are the first couple of years, and we're looking at a spending reduction in this year and next year, not nearly as much as I would have wanted or Tom Coburn would have wanted. I don't want to question anybody's motives here or anybody's pledge or whether they could have made a better deal, but you know, if Tylenol is all you got, that's what you give the patient with pneumonia. This is where we are right now.
Though.
Well, it's a better solution. Gerri, it's a better solution than not treating them at all. There's a point where you have to be realistic about what can be done. And the truth is, neither side controls very much in Washington right now. My side controls one of the three things it takes to pass a piece of legislation. And so by definition, I'm going to be dissatisfied with the final product, but so are the people that control the other two-thirds of the government. I think we've got to understand that what we've done here is significant because it changes the way we do business.
Well, I keep hearing the fact that nobody's happy is good news. But let me ask you this. There are lots of questions today emerging on whether this deal will allow higher taxes in the long run. Do you see that happening?
I don't think that happens. I think the committee is actually a good thing. I think it lets Congress do its work in a different way, which means 51 senators can make a decision. But first of all, the House has to agree with that decision. And secondly, the way this is put together, I think it's very unlikely that you have revenue increases. I think it's almost certain, in fact, it is certain, that you have some kind of spending cuts as part of the next phase of this that happens later this year. And I think spending cuts are what we ought to be talking about right now.
Spending cuts. There's a lot of debate over the role of the Tea Party in this. They've been heavily criticized. Some people are saying that they're the big winners in that. Senator John McCain had some interesting comments about the Tea Party in this. Here's what he had to say.
The idea seems to be that if the House GOP refuses to raise the debt ceiling, a default crisis or gradual government shutdown will ensue, and the public will turn en masse against Barack Obama, and the Tea Party hobbits could return to Middle-earth, having defeated Mordor.
Well, so there you have it. Tea Partiers are hobbits. Maybe they're terrorists, as the vice president suggested this afternoon. I don't know if you're that or not. What do you think of the Tea Partiers now that we are on the threshold of what could be an agreement?
I think the Tea Party movement has huge responsibility for this agreement. The New York Times says it's a big loss for the other side. Paul Krugman says it's a big loss for the other side. We would not be having this discussion if the Tea Party hadn't had impact in 2010. They're going to have impact, I hope, again in 2012 and send more reinforcements to the Senate. And we'll see what happens in the White House. But the Tea Partiers are smart enough to understand that what they did in 2010 changed 1/3 of the lawmaking part of the government. The other 2/3 are out there, and they're going to have a chance to speak again in just a few months, and I think they will.
Well, I guess it's going to be a pretty long evening for you. Senator Blunt, thanks for helping us out this afternoon. Please come back.
You bet. Great to be with you.